Welcome back. Now, how different would your childhood have been if one of your parents couldn't see? Well, one of our next guests experienced such a childhood and has written a play about it.
Yes, she has. My Dad's Blind is written by and stars Anna Shields McNamee and is based on her experiences with her father, John. It's coming to the Dublin Fringe Festival later this month, and Anna joins us along with Kevin Kelly, Head of Advocacy at the National Council for the Blind of Ireland. Good morning to you both.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, guys.
Thank you for joining us. Anna, give us a sense of life at home growing up with your dad, because your dad wasn't born blind.
No. So when I was born, I think he saw me as a baby, and then not soon after that, he went completely blind. So I've never known him to be sighted. So I remember, like, my little sister thought all dads were blind. So she went to her friend's house, I think when she was 3 or 4, and her friend's dad got in the car and started to drive, and she got like a fright, you know, because she thought he was going to crash the car, and then she found out that he could see. So it was odd for us growing up with it, because we never really had much sympathy for him, the way maybe people do who haven't grown up around it. So to us, he was just like our really annoying dad that kept walking into stuff in the house.
I love the way that you describe your dad. You said people told me my dad was amazing, but I thought he was very boring because he had a 9-to-5 job and he watched Coronation Street at night. But you thought then that people were only saying that because he was blind, you know, that he was an amazing man.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I just kind of felt like they're not really seeing him as a person, they're just seeing the blindness. Yeah. And I kind of find that can happen a lot. People just kind of infantilise blind people or people with disabilities, and I just kind of feel that's not helpful to making people feel like included and kind of...
But you're watching how people treated your father and how differently they treated him.
Yeah.
One great story is that you're in a shop and things are said to you like, does he want a bag with that?
Yeah.
Well, ask him, does he want a bag with it? What are you asking me for?
Yeah, you know that's the thing, and like I get annoyed inside, but I try not to be annoyed, because I know that people are just trying to... They're awkward.
They don't know how to deal with it.
They don't know what to do. They just kind of... they're not used to it. Like, how often do you meet blind people in your day-to-day?
Of course, yeah. It's more awkwardness than, you know, any sense of being mean or malicious. It's just they don't know how to cope with it. Would that be fair to say, Kevin?
Yeah, I suppose it must be a common thing for blind men to watch Coronation Street, because, major confession, I watch Coronation Street.
Guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasure, yeah. I probably shouldn't have said that on national TV, but when I would have lost... shame forever, this clip's going to come back. But when I would have lost my eyesight 17 years ago this month, I suppose it was a major adjustment, but people really just didn't know what to say or do. People would get all awkward when they would say, "I'll see you later, Kevin," and then they would pause, expecting that I was going to burst into tears or be mortally offended.
But do you forgive people that kind of thing? Do you know, because people do get mortified by it if they make a mistake like that, Kevin. Is it just water off a duck's back, or you think, just because you don't know how to deal with it, is it?
Yeah, because I've been blind now for 17 years, I've kind of adjusted to my new reality, and I find it very amusing, and sometimes I'll make a smart crack about it myself and maybe deliberately make them feel more awkward just for the sake of it. But I think people who are maybe experiencing early stages of sight loss may find comments that's somewhat upsetting. It really depends on the personality of the person, but I think Anna's representation of sight loss and people who are blind is very important, because it's breaking down a lot of barriers and it's showing that we're just normal people at the end of the day going about our daily business.
Yeah, I think you'll break down some boundaries as well and open up a conversation.
Yes.
Which says, how should we say the right thing, or what should we do in certain situations? You know, do we offer help? Are we insulting a blind man or woman if we offer help?
Yeah, and to not feel afraid to talk to blind people about that, or to just like get it wrong, or say your darker thoughts or whatever, just to keep it human, as opposed to kind of going, oh God, I might make life worse for him, and sure, it's already awful because he's blind. Whereas, and I think that's okay to say all that stuff, you know, because then you can be corrected or you can be argued with, or... But the important thing is that you can just chat about it normally.
What did your dad think when you mentioned the notion first that you're going to write a play around him and around his blindness? What did he say?
Well, I didn't tell him.
Of course you didn't.
So,
no.
He knows now.
It's the best way to do it. Don't tell him.
Morning, Dad.
It'd be a great Father's Day present.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I did actually. I recorded him without telling him, like in secret, so that I could get like all the juicy stuff.
Sure.
And then I told him, and I think he was very flattered, whereas now I think he's very nervous.
Concerned?
Yeah, he's concerned, yeah.
And do you think he'll be happy with the outcome? I love the fact that you used to, well, I don't love it, but it makes me laugh. You used to leave school bags in the way every family throws school bags in the hall, and your dad would trip over them and go, you know I'm blind, right?
Yeah. We'd be like, oh, Dad's kicking off again. Yeah.
Is he nervous about the play?
Yeah, he's really nervous. Yeah. I might be estranged after the play, but hopefully it'll be all fine.
So what behaviour would you like to see change off the back of the play?
I really want people to feel more free to chat about all of the darker stuff, you know, and kind of not the thoughts you have, but to just not be afraid to get it wrong. You know, I would really like that to happen. And some of the stuff I say in the play might offend, you know, people maybe in the earlier stages of sight loss, or, you know, it's so dependent on the person's personality. And I'm not doing that to shock, I'm doing it to get the chat going, you know? So it might be a bit of a hot debate, but I hope it will lead to people feeling more included.
It's an important conversation to have, isn't it? Yeah. Well, thank you very much for joining us. The very best of luck with it.
Thank you.
I hope your dad enjoys it.
Thank you.
Now, My Dad's Blind is showing at the Project Arts Theatre in Temple Bar as part of the Dublin Fringe Festival from the 18th to the 22nd of September, and you can get tickets on fringefest.com.
Right, coming up, Donald Skeen will be dropping by.
Plus, we have a homemade Chinese takeaway in the kitchen. Stay with us for a beef stir-fry. See you shortly.